guys, welcome to a new movie. Today we're doing Flight Risk, new movie featuring Mark Wahlberg as like the bad guy. So let's just jump into general thoughts. I liked the movie. It was actually better than I thought. Not that I thought it was gonna be a bad movie, it's just like, looked like it's gonna be an average. Like, yeah, it was good. I liked it. Mark Wahlberg played the good, like, bad guy. What is in the trailer, so it's not spoiling it. And I love his accent he gives it, like that kind of like, I almost want to say Southern accent, but you know, he has a Southern accent to him. I'm like, makes him, I think, a really good villain and a bad guy for this. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Cause I'm like, I don't think he's been a bad guy before. He probably has. Just this the first time I've like seen him be like an actual like bad guy that I can think of, or a movie I've seen him in. But yeah, he's great. And then the other cast was great. The main girl was also great, who I don't remember. She was good. She was in some other movies like A Boy Killed War and some other stuff. I'm like, okay, she's not West Side. She was to somebody else, but yeah, she was from that. I'm like, okay, I know you are now. But yeah, that's cool. And the other guy, who is the guy that's taken, he was also not a bad actor as well. It was a fun movie. I actually really enjoyed this, and yeah, so let's jump into it. So we're gonna talk about the movie now. So spoilers ahead. When I talk about the movie, I usually do spoilers. Usually I just talk about what happened in the movie and everything. So spoilers ahead, then we'll do my rating, and then we'll call it a day. So it starts off with this guy who's in a place and he's making ramen, and obviously the cops come in. I think he's in Canada or Alaska somewhere. I don't really know where. It's Canada or Alaska. I forget which. I want to say it's Alaska, and then a bunch of guys come in and get him, and then this person who's like, hey, I'm in the field and I'm going to stop you. He's a person from America. This girl who is like, hey, I work for the whatever. I forget what he exactly worked for, if it's FBI, whatever the case may be. But he's on the field. He came to get this guy because this guy is going to testify against the bad guys about what happened. Tested about the big crime guy, Moretti or whatever his name is. Big crime lord, you know, mob guy, and they're going to arrest him and all this stuff. And then they go, and then eventually in a couple of days they go to craft him. And then they like, okay, then in a couple of days they go on a plane, and they get a plane. It's like a chartered plane or something to get him there, you know, unconspicuously. And then we find out that it's just one of those little planes, it's just like one pilot him. It's a very small plane, not a big fancy plane. But they get on it, and then we find out who the person is who's driving it is Mark Wahlberg, what you already know. For what I said before, what the kind of, it's not really a twist because I showed it pretty much clearly in the trailer, but I'm not going to say it until we get to the point in it. I will say it, but then they thought, you know, he talks about, hey, I'm a pilot, all this stuff, you know, shit chatting. He's really doing very good at the beginning of being like, yeah, not trying to be super suspicious, but there are a couple lines and a couple things, like there's like little cut on his face. He's like nothing, he sees little cuts into those things of blood. I'm like, those things eventually get caught it, and you see the guy in the back because this is after they take off and stuff, and then he sees stuff, seeing little things, and some of the stuff he's saying seems weird, but then the guy in the back who's all chained up, sees a thing on the ground, and he pulls, you know, gets his foot and like drags it closer to him, and it's a thing that starts the pilot license, and it's not him, same name, like obviously he has, not the same name, but you know, he's using fake name, but different person on the list. He's like, oh shit, and he's trying to tell the girl what happened, and then eventually, obviously she finds out what happened, and they start obviously fighting, and he eventually asks her like, hey, how did you know what was going on? And he said, there was this, he says the license, so whatever thing, it's like, okay, and they like, compromise, we've been compromised, we have to get back to base, home, we gotta get home, we gotta figure out how to fly this thing, because obviously he's the bad guy, so he can't fly. She puts out on pilot, calls up this girl who was like, who she works for, and eventually at one point, and she gets a guy to help him like fly the plane back home, who, for the record, throughout the entire movie, I was wondering if the guy who was helping her fly the plane was actually a bad guy. To my knowledge, no. Until the end of the movie, he didn't really do anything bad, so I think, cool, not really anything to, I think, worry about, so he didn't seem like he was the bad guy, so that was interesting, so really he wasn't bad, so that's great. Not anyway, but on the phone, he was talking to her, you know, boss, and then she eventually got to go up to higher up, because he thinks maybe because he finds out more about the guy who is the Mark Wahlberg character, knows a lot about her and stuff, like it's an inside job and all this stuff. You gotta figure out who it is, and he thinks her boss is the one who does it, and he tells her, like, the guy above her boss, or the girl she's talking to is like her boss, but the person above that, it goes to her and talks to him about like, hey, I think she's a mole, and everything, and then, okay, these guys, and she tries to go and get him, and then, like, she goes back and tells her boss and finds out that, like, the main guy, the head guy, like, the guy who controls everything, he's the mole, he's the leak, and then we find out that the girl, who's, like, her boss, who's, like, in between them, dies, and, like, oh, shit, I messed up, see this one, and it's just a good book, and also, he's worried about, because he knows about his mom and stuff, and they have a thing on his mom, and send a thing to his mom. He's worried about, the guy's worried about his mom. What? I will say this, the guy is the guy who's moved money since he's doing back stuff. I like the character because he doesn't, because throughout the movie, right, in the beginning, he doesn't seem like a complete, like, evil guy, right? He doesn't seem like Mark Wahlberg's character seems evil to a point once he, you know, reveals himself, he's like, oh yeah, he's evil. Compared to the other guy, like, oh yeah, the other guy's like nothing compared to him. But obviously they have to go and fight the guy, fight Mark Wahlberg. Throughout the movie, they fight Mark Wahlberg. Eventually, they have to land the plane, and then obviously Mark Wahlberg, fights him at the end. While they're fighting Mark Wahlberg, he gets, door opens and he flies out of the plane and gets hit by something and dies. From like, yay, he's the bad guy, and he's like, yep, got what you deserve. But C makes it out with the guy. The guy got shot. The guy got not shot, but the guy who was protecting, the witness, he got stabbed a couple times, and they got to a point where they kind of got where like C unhooked him and everything, and like got to where like, yeah, I trust you. I like, you're not gonna do anything. I trust. Like they trust each other. Like kind of, I would say they become friends. They become like kind of like friends, or kind of like they like he cares about him in a way. Where I'm like, I don't want anything to happen to you. You seem to be really a decent guy, and like same with her to him. It's like it's not that like in a loving like they're gonna get together kind of way, but then like we respect each other, like each other, we want to help each other. It's fun. I like that. And then obviously Mark Wahlberg dies, and then right at the end when he conceives her, but not as bad as the other guy because he got stabbed a couple times, but he's getting onto an ambulance, and then then he sees the guy he was talking to, the pilot, who was hitting on her, like, hey, we're going for getting sees him, and like, cool. And then we see this other guy go over to the ambulance, and he's like, oh shit. And he goes into the ambulance and like shuts the door, and there's like cop or something, and he's like, so he runs over there, opens it, and they put a bag in the guy's hand to kind of kill him, and he stops him, and he's like picks up the phone, and it's the police, the chief who runs the whole thing and talking to her like, I got you, bitch. Kind of, it's fun. I like it. That's what it ends. I'm like, yep. If he stays with him, I'm like, good point, good job. The movie was fun. Mark Wahlberg, it was a fun movie. Mark Wahlberg's character was great. All the three main characters were great. The characters go pretty great. And it was cool because they're like in this confined space, so there's limited stuff. So like, it's cool to see a movie with like you're trapped in like this confined space with this like killer or thing and like gotta do. It's fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it pretty much. I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would. We gonna get into the rating. I'm gonna give it, because this movie getting a little longer than I thought it was gonna be. We're gonna give it an 8. Solid movie. Enjoyed it. Had fun with it. What you guys think of Flight Rick? Let me know in the comments down below. You guys can always stay epic. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.